It's another week, but the headlines in newspapers across Europe are depressingly familiar. It's more Islamic terror attacks. A few days ago, a Syrian asylum seeker stabbed a 14-year-old boy to death in Villach, Austria. He also knifed several others while shouting Allahu Akbar, that familiar refrain that we've become so used to hearing around such events. Pictures of the man were then released showing him grinning about the murder. A few days before that, this man was also arrested in Munich, Germany, after he ploughed his car through a crowd of people, injuring 30, and it just never stops. Since September 11, 2001, there have been over 31,000 Islamic terror attacks, resulting in at least 146,000 deaths. Since 1979, there have been around 67,000 Islamic terror attacks, leading to around 250,000 deaths. Many people still ask the question though, why? Why are they doing this? And why would they do it with such a sense of glee? How can this guy sit here and smile after doing such a horrendous thing? I'm actually planning to do a little mini-series on Islam soon, a kind of introduction course. But in the meantime, I want to highlight what this ex-Muslim wrote on X recently, because I think his personal insight explains so much of what we're seeing. He wrote this after the Munich attack. "Let me tell you why a Muslim would drive his car into a crowd of innocent people. I was raised Muslim and I know exactly why this happens. It's not poverty, it's not oppression, it's not even radicalisation. It's the logical outcome of Islamic doctrine itself. It doesn't matter if you're a Muslim or not. We as human beings carry guilt deep inside us. We know we're not good enough and spend our lives trying to redeem ourselves through good deeds, thinking it will make the guilt disappear. Christianity, for example, offers a way out of guilt, a solution not based on your works but on Christ's. Salvation isn't earned, it's given. You accept that you can't redeem yourself because Christ did everything on your behalf, and that means that you're free. You're free to live, free to build, free to serve, free to love. When Christians feel lost, broken, and needing forgiveness, they can go to church, talk to a pastor or priest, and leave knowing they have been forgiven. Islam, on the other hand, does not offer redemption. It weaponizes guilt. Instead of providing salvation, Allah exposes you, holds your sins over your head, and threatens you with hellfire and torture in the grave. The Quran is not a book of peace. It's a book of threats. It bullies Muslims into obedience through fear, humiliation, and punishment. So what happens when a Muslim seeks redemption? They try to be better Muslims. They pray, fast, give to charity, go on Hajj, and do everything Allah commands. But it never works. I know, I did it. And no matter how much you pray, no matter how much you try, the guilt never goes away, because deep down, every Muslim knows it's not enough. Allah always demands more. Allah loves those who die fighting against the infidels. That's not an opinion, it's in the Quran, Hadith, and every lesson taught to children. This is why Muslims, even the so-called moderates, always hesitate to condemn terrorism, because they know Allah requires jihad. They might not be willing to commit it themselves, but they cannot say it's wrong. So when a Muslim fails to reach peace through religious rituals, they have two choices: give up, stop being devout, and learn to live with the guilt, or commit to jihad, because that's the only way to be true to yourself. The Quran spells it out clearly. Kill those who do not worship Allah or obey the Prophet. That's in chapter 9, verse 29. So when a Muslim embraces this identity fully, killing infidels isn't just justified, it's joyful. It's an act of saving yourself, obeying Allah, securing your eternity, and finally escaping the crushing weight of guilt. This is why a Muslim can drive his car into a crowd of innocent people and feel nothing but satisfaction. Because for the first time in his life, he finally believes he has done something worthy of redemption. The reason this man can smile after killing a 14-year-old boy in cold blood is because, according to his twisted religion, by killing innocent people, he is obeying Allah, he feels like he is saving himself, and he's relieving his guilt. Jihad is, according to Islam, one of the highest acts you can do for Allah, and just about the only way to guarantee yourself a place in heaven, or in paradise as they call it. The Hadith says, the person who participates in jihad will be admitted to paradise. It says Allah guarantees him who strives in his cause and whose motivation for going out is nothing but jihad. Not only that, but it says the highest place in heaven is given to jihadis. It says says, there is another act which elevates the position of a man in paradise to a grade 100 higher, and the elevation between one grade and the other is equal to the height of heaven from the earth. What is the act? Jihad in the way of Allah. Jihad in the way of Allah. Salvation, atonement, and honor before Allah to a Muslim comes by murder. It comes by killing and by death, which is why Islam continually is the cause of tens of thousands of terror attacks around the world, and why it simply has no place in Christian, Western, civilized society.